Hey guys, I'm the 50s Kid. In this video, we're going to check out the new launch X431 Pro 3s Plus. It's a new professional level scan tool tablet that was sent to me. We're going to check it out in this video. I'm going to try to do as detailed a review as I can on it. So I'm going to show you like all throughout the menus, and we're going to try to apply it on two different cars and see if we can see what it looks like to kind of diagnose things and check out data and all that stuff. So we're going to get super detailed, but I'll put chapter markers in this if you want to kind of skip around all the different things. Anyway, let's get started. Like I said, this is a professional level tool. It comes with a whole bunch of different adapters for all various kinds of cars. So far, I've only ever needed just the Bluetooth dongle straight into the OBD2 port. But if you have, this is for like an older BMW right here, and I actually have no idea what all of these other adapters are for. I think they're mostly for older cars, but if that's what you have, this will cover it. I think mostly they give you this giant box just to kind of make it look impressive, but it has it. The only thing that's really important though are the tool and the USB dongle or the Bluetooth dongle for the OBD2 port. All right, now when you buy a tablet like this, it usually comes with about a year or two of free updates. I believe now it's a year of updates. So I'll be able to update all the software and get, the newer cars supported. So again, this is the most important if you are like a professional tech and you're seeing all the brand new cars and you need to be able to diagnose those. So the updates are important to you for that reason. But if you're just working on older cars, it's not as important. So it has the intelligent diagnose, which tries to figure out what car it's connected to. For some reason, that doesn't work on BMWs, so I'm going to skip that. I know that doesn't work. Local diagnose is where you go in to connect directly to the modules on the car. So the service function section, that's where you're going to find a lot of the common things that you might have to do, like ABS bleeding. If you do an ABS reset, go in there. There's a module just for doing that. You can get to all of these functions if you go into the local diagnose section and then you go into the car and you go to the right module and then you go to, there's like a service functions menu inside of each individual module. But sometimes it can be hard to find that. So this is just sort of like it's a shortcut. These are all your bookmarks just to those exact procedures. So it'll get you right where you need to go. So that's kind of cool. So basically, let me show you kind of all the functions that it has. You guys can just read and check out what it has. And it has all of these. This is not the only thing it's capable of doing. This is just what they chose. These are all the common things that are common amongst all the modules, right? But there are a bunch more service functions that this tool supports. It's just that you will find those within the individual menus in the modules. So yeah, you see this TPMS section, but you actually need an accessory to do this, which is this TS gun. But this can do TPMS sensors, which is kind of cool. So the ADAS thing is the adaptive driving systems that are on some newer cars. So it looks like you can calibrate those, and that's pretty cool. Got some general knowledge here. So newer technicians they've got to get into that stuff. So this thing covers it, which is really cool. So other modules, I think I haven't been in here. There's a lot of stuff you can do. I mean, this thing will support everything. Looks like there's a video. So they probably have an accessory for sticking a little video camera down in a bore to kind of see what's going on inside a cylinder. And then BST360, is this like a battery tester? Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. So they must have a battery tester device, a Bluetooth thing that you would buy, just another accessory. I don't want to go into it though. So yeah, pretty cool. This thing covers a lot of stuff. Vehicle coverage, I guess that'll give you a little list. They actually, oh, okay. I guess it's sort of like a glossary of all the different things. That's pretty cool. So yeah, all the different cars and then all the different diagnostic modules. Maintenance. Never been into maintenance yet. Repair case, operating skills. Oh, this must be a knowledge database. That's pretty cool, actually. Pretty interesting. It's not fully covered. Yeah, it's not everything, but that's neat. Okay, let's get into the real stuff. Local diagnose. So on professional level scan tools, there is the module specific to the car, and then there is a generic EOBD, OBD2. So this is probably what you might be familiar with if you're a home gamer, where you've only ever had the cheaper scan tools. You plug them in and you get like a P0420 code or something like that. So that's where you're going to get those kinds of codes. But that's not going to tell you everything. There's often other problems that are wrong with the car that you're not going to see in there, because OBD2 it's geared towards emissions problems. But there could be more problems wrong with the car. There's a bunch of other modules on most cars these days. So let me show you the American cars that it covers, all of these. Here's the Euro cars. It's page 2 there. Page 3. Asian cars. Page 2. And a couple more. And then they cover a bunch of Chinese cars. Who knew there were so many cars in China? And then that's what's common between all of them. Cool, so let's go European, because we're in a BMW. So I got that Bluetooth dongle plugged in. You always have to have your ignition on to position 2 when you're doing scan tool stuff. So I used to have an older launch. I still have it. It's like a handheld one. It's older and it was so slow. I really hate it because it's so slow. To do like this automatically search thing and to do a health check on that one would just take minutes and minutes and minutes. It's still going to be slow on this tool just because these older BMWs are slow. I found that they're slow on every scan tool that I've used, but that one was particularly slow. You see that it did read the VIN right here, but when I do that intelligent diagnose, for some reason it can't identify the VIN. So there's kind of something wrong with that intelligent diagnose. Maybe it's only supported on newer cars or something. So this is the part right here where it identifies all the different modules. This takes a this is what's a little slower on older BMWs. On my E90, it's a lot faster. It's just, you know, the speed of the bus that they're using. This is a 20-year-old car after all. So that took about a minute. And in here we can do a health report, which is going to scan all the DTC codes on all the modules and just tell me, it'll zero in on all the problems. Or we can just scan a particular system if you kind of know. You can do system selection, or you can do the system scan and, you know, find the module and go into a specific module. So health report, let's just try that. This is what would take minutes on my old launch. It's actually a lot faster on this one. Okay, that did take about 2 or 3 minutes. So it looks like we have a steering angle sensor code, data filing difference to central light module. I don't know what that means. Got to look that one up. I do have some relay error codes on my my general module. I have had problems with the door locks not opening sometimes, which is actually kind of scary, because if those things are locked and they're locked out, the handle on the door will not open the door at all. And, you know, if you need to get out of the car in a hurry, that could be really bad. So I gotta address that. My optical sensor for the rain, the windshield wipers, when it senses the rain, I've never been able to initialize that. I think I got to replace it. And then I still have short circuit to earth problems on my rear taillight. Since we replaced the wire or fixed the wiring in there, I think it's probably related to the actual aftermarket light that I have. Anyway, you can, you know, go straight into a module here from this code, from this readout. So now I'm actually in a module. I want to show you like how you would get there though if you weren't in this. So you would do system selection. And then on this car, on BMW, it's got 3 different categories. So drive would be like the ECM and the transmission computer, the mobilizer. So say if we went into the ECM, tells you, you know, information about the ECM, and then you go in there. So you can read fault codes, you can clear fault codes. Here we have none. You can read data stream. This is where you're going to read all the different PIDs from the engine module, the engine computer. So you can select what you want. Now, let's say you wanted to analyze fuel trims with this. You actually wouldn't do it in this section, because if you're reading the fuel trim data, the oxygen sensor data from here, let's see, where is it? In the BMW computer, it has adaptation, mixture, additive, and multiplicative. So these do not correlate directly to fuel trim percentages that you would normally get from the OBD2 data. So these really aren't going to be helpful as far as diagnosing fuel trims, because it's very difficult to read them. So you actually wouldn't do that in here. On other cars, you could do it here. Normally they would give you the same data that you would get on the OBD2 side, but in this particular computer, or with this particular car, you just can't get it that way. But you can get a lot of other data this way. So we can see here's Vanos data. That's actually really helpful. That's something you cannot get on OBD2 data. So why don't we go ahead and start the car and see what this looks like. Car's completely cold, so I'll just kind of let it warm up a little bit. But you can actually see we are, the actual position is retarded, and here's the reference position. So you can see it's, you can just read this information and see what's going on. Probably, so this is not going to start reading any helpful data until we get the car completely warmed up, but again, this is where you would do it. I'll leave the car on though. Solenoid valve, we are misfiring a little bit. I haven't turned this car on in a little while. Car's been sitting for like over a month. So, oxygen sensor heater, you can tell if your heaters are working. You can also get this on OBD2 data as well. Why is it giving you percentages? That's interesting. Maybe that's how much it's heating. Can you change that value? No. Normally it would give you milliamps. So, smooth running values, this will tell you if you're having misfires which cylinder. Guess that would be cylinder 1, no? Yeah. They're all a little bit all over the place. Okay. So, various different values. See what we see in here. So people say that people think the multiplicative is analogous to the long-term fuel trims, but that doesn't really help you, because you need to know your total fuel trims most of the time. But at least you get your O2 voltages in here. You can also see amperage or millivolt, voltage or millivolt. So here we are going to go for, there's different PIDs. We're going to do long term and short term. And it's always had these other PIDs right here, and I think these are the wrong ones. So we want to also do, where are we? Where's the engine RPM? Cool. So can you graph all these things? Here's what it would look like graphing all of these things at the same time. I wonder what it would look like with just 4 PIDs on the screen. We'll check that out later. But so this is the short-term fuel trim right here, and this is the long-term fuel trim. So let's just get the car running at speed here. You can see we're good. You know, -5. Here's bank 1 and 1. So we're under 5% here. We're about 2% here. This is about, 2 or 3, sometimes 1. Now we're back to idle. You can see we're around the 3 or 4 area. Here we're about 6 now. Now we're about 6. So we're a little bit leaner at idle than when we're running. Oops. You can zoom in on one of these. That's actually cool. So you can look at something up close. Cool. Well, you know, I mean, I don't see any huge problems here. So things are all good. But yeah, that's what it looks like. Let's see if we take off the engine RPMs and then go back to graph. Yeah, so the graphs are a little bit bigger. Pretty cool. You can obviously record this and play it back later or analyze the data later. Very neat. What does report do? Oh, if you're going to make a report and save the info. Ah, that's fancy. Don't need this though. Skip.